What is up, y'all? It is Grant with another episode of the Groovy Files, and today I got my main man Don with me,
Yo,
and today we'll be talking about Doechii's "Alligator Bites Never Heal." So on my timeline, I've seen like some really great reception to this album, and I'm not people, and like I think people trying to clown saying like, y'all think this is Illmatic, everything like that. I'm like, not really. I think people it for body of work, I think this has impressed me the most this year, personally. Um, and I think she deserves to do praise for it. Now, let me say this: uh, has TDE struck gold with Doechii?
uh, I would say the thing with TDE is like, for the most part, they very rarely ever miss when it comes to artists. Like, I think it's very rare I don't like a TDE artist, or at least like I wouldn't even say there's a TDE artist. There are TDE artists I never cared for particularly, but for a label, they got to be shooting at least like 80%, which is incredible for a label. And they always get a lot of flack for not dropping that often. But every time, or at least 90% of the time, when a TDE artist drops, it is always worth the wait. And for that, I do have to give them credit for. We live in a time where music gets churned out all the time. People release whenever they want to, and like people are making music that isn't necessarily sustainable. Um, and that's just the way like the streaming is working right now. It's not really a fault, or it's not really like artist's fault. Um, but for the most part, when a TDE artist drops at any type of project, whether it be like a mixtape like this or album, whatever, it's like it's extremely memorable in all facets, and it holds it. These people can perform these songs for the rest of their careers. Like Isaiah Rashad could perform stuff from The House is Burning forever. Schoolboy Q can perform stuff from uh, Blank Face forever. Like it really don't matter the era because it always holds up. So I would say TD struck gold. I think Doechii is like, her versatility is, I want to say, unmatched in a way. Like the different flows she uses stylistically, like she can sing, like it's just a lot that she offers. And it kind of reminds me of Doja without all the controversy. It's like Doja and Baby Tate.
That,
Uh
that's that's what I was gonna say. I was like, Doechii is like reminds me of Doja Cat with just all without all the mess attached. And when I say all the mess attached, I mean all the mess attached. I ain't gotta hear about her doing anything every 3 business days, or oh she in like a chat with white supremacists, or she don't give a fuck about her fans or anything like that. I don't hear none of that shit. But on your topic of like TDE, I don't think there was a year. I think there was very rarely a year that they dropped something and it wasn't out of the year contention. I'm trying to retrace my steps, but I'm thinking I could go back. I honestly want to go back to 2011 because I'm thinking because 2011 they had Section 80, 2012 had Habits and Contradictions,
and Control System.
and Good Kid, Mad City. 2013, I don't know if they had something dropped that year. I'm trying to think. 2014 had Oxymoron, which was an album of the year contention, if I'm not mistaken. 2015, uh, 9005, 90059, To Pimp a Butterfly. 2016, The Sun's Tirade. Blank Face, Do What Thou Wilt. 2017, Damn. 2018, Black Panther album. J Rock did drop that year, but I don't think that was considered intention. But Black Panther album was.
SZA also dropped Control in 2017.
Yes, I forgot about that. Sorry. Uh, 2019 was Chasing Summer. Fact check that, please.
Yeah.
2019 was Chasing Summer. 2020, I don't think anybody dropped the album that year because of COVID. 2021 was The House is Burning. 2022, SOS. 2023. Also, Absol's album was considered really good as well. I forgot about that. But I think it like dropped like literally like 2 weeks before SZA or like 2 weeks after. And like it kind of got like a weird rollout. 2023.
2013 was the only year. So I'm looking at their discography right now, and 2013 was the only year like none of them released.
Yes. Oh, 2014, Sylvia demo too. I forgot about that.
And I think he wasn't signed to TDE at that point, but yeah, I mean,
it had Q and J Rock on the shit.
but I mean, that did have they still had oxymoron in these days either way. So although these
These
days,
days is ass. I'm sorry.
it's kind of
2023, did they have anything?
2023
Was
was
it Sir again
Lance,
or was it
this Lance
2024 Sir?
Skywalker.
Oh, I'm not gonna do him like that. I do think he's good on features.
And then 2024,
I just don't prefer his solo
has
music.
already had Blue Lips and Alligator Bites Never Heal. So like this is just like you have labels who artists will make good music, but like things of this caliber is just this is you cannot compare another label to this. Like even if I go and what's if I go and look at like Dreamville uh album discography, like it's just not it don't hold up the same. And it's not really their fault, but it's like bro,
It,
this shit is different.
it just ain't on that level. Like it just like there's nothing wrong with that. Like we view TDE is more of an anomaly than the standard. You get what I'm saying? Like what TDE does on a regular basis is not normal. And this is what I kind of tell people about like people like Kendrick, like even though he's not on there no more. What Kendrick does is like he's an anomaly. He's not somebody, he's the peak. He is one of the peaks. He's not somebody that's like, oh, an artist can regularly do this, do what he does. Like, no, that's not the case. Um, and for Doechii in this instance, I've seen so many people say, yeah, this is how I felt when Kendrick first came out and everything like that. And this is not to slander her or anything like that. But I will say this. I think people are so obsessed with shitting on other female rappers at this point in time because they don't like because and this is what my fear was with Doechii. It was like I didn't want her to get rhapsodied like Rhapsody did. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, y'all only bringing me up to compare me to shit on the other female rappers instead of uplift them, and I really don't appreciate that because her project is very good, and it's not like it's very good. Period. Like it's one of the best I heard this year. Period. But it doesn't matter who dropped it. It's like is great. So it's just like I hate when people do that, or just people just use art as comparison points instead of just like this is art.
It's funny because that also happened to Flo Milli, like, or that was happening to Flo Milli at one point, where instead of people being like just listening to Flo Milli, it got like originally it did. Of course, colorism matters in so many different conversations. Like that cannot be understated. But it went from a point where people were advocating for Flo Milli to where people were just utilizing her to shit on every light skinned rapper, and it just didn't do her any favors. Um, and now, like, I seen a tweet earlier where somebody was like, Doechii is a real palate cleanser after years of sex worker rap thrusted
That
into
is
the
literally the
forefront.
tweet. That is,
And,
but that
and
is literally the tweet. I was like, you know what, Don, we need to go ahead and talk about this album.
it's funny because like one, we've had multiple episodes on this, but like you could very easily look up the rap that you want to listen to. Like it's this girl named Sally Mata. She raps with Mike, and she probably dropped my favorite album of the year. Like to this point of recording. Like it's a female rap album, and it's really fucking good. And like I just found that on my own accord. And the fact that he was saying thrust it into the forefront, like Doechii is really big, is crazy. Like she just dropped a mixtape on TDE, and if you ask most people who Doechii is, they're not gonna know. So he had to do some type of like looking to find this. So he just used, again, like you were saying, using Doechii to shit on other rappers is just, it's not gonna help her, and it's just extremely condescending because Doechii raps about sex, and like that's perfectly fine. Most rappers rap about sex. Like this, it will be so hard for me to find a rapper that does not talk about that.
Yeah, it's like, and I think people view rap. And it's so funny because it's like people are always like, all these women they talk about sex and blah 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 blah, and all these men they only talk about guns and blah 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 blah. And I would say this: I promise you, if you deliver it a certain way, those complaints are dead. That's really all it is. But the thing is, men are able to get away with it, and women aren't. And I think that's unfair because it's like, oh, y'all worried about is sex and everything like that. I'm like, I can. All these niggas, a lot of these niggas be rapping about the same shit and
There,
do the same as that time. It's just like y'all be so hard on the women. Not to mention they have to do more to be considered. I'm trying to figure out the way. Like, is you ever heard the phrase "you gotta be like twice as good to get 50"? I can't remember what it is. It's like an old black catchphrase.
twice as good to get half the credit or something like that.
Yes, something like that. But like, that's how it feels with like black women in hip hop, and then like black men versus like, and then top it all off, you got guys like Ian who are able to just do these Gucciisms and sit up here and just literally copy and paste Gucci and talking about nothing else besides that white boy hard. Like, what? That don't make like, do y'all not hear yourselves? But yeah, like, and like people were clowning Lotto for like her first week sales, like, oh, she sold like 27,000, blah 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 blah. And it's like, if you are holding that over people's head in the late game streaming era, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, and to top it all off, we should know by now, especially people that talk music a lot, we should know by now that you being popping or everything like that, you have to selling out shows and everything like that should be the main indicator of that. It shouldn't be like an album sale because the thing is, especially with like people talking about, oh my God, Sabrina Carpenter, she's selling 200K. I hope y'all watching the hip hop dying. I'm like, I think Sabrina Carpenter music good. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like, espresso is nice. But what I'm gonna say is this:
I'll
white
say it with
people
you.
let white people business be white people business. Hip hop was never meant to be a, although it is to a degree, hip hop was never meant to be some sort of pure commercial thing, right? Hip hop has a lot more purity than these other genres as well. So it's like for y'all to sit up here and say, well, this person's on 300K, why these other guys ain't? I'm like, those other genres that y'all are using as example are very top heavy and very loaded. It's like a when hip hop has like all these multiple tiers of stars, other genres kind of have like the top and then everybody else the bottom. And I think people same for country, honestly. Like it's I don't get why people don't get that.
I think people use album sales and all this stuff when it's convenient. Like it, I see this mentioned on Twitter a lot by people who work in, or at least in close proximity with hip hop. It's not a lot of artist development and whatnot anymore. So, and so like people aren't doing, these labels aren't letting these artists do the groundwork of building up small and then getting to a certain level. Like the internet is just allowing people to blow up faster than ever. And so steps are being skipped. And then when people don't reach what they were supposed to because they blew up on the internet or whatever, people get made fun of for it. And it's like, this is what was supposed to happen. Like immediately after the concrete shit, Caribou performed at a festival and it wasn't that many people like looking at her perform at a festival, which is like, that's what's supposed to happen. Like Caribou doesn't have much music out and she has like known features, but she doesn't have like a mixtape out or anything. And for her to even be on a festival stage is impressive. So she's supposed to be starting out small like that. When I remember, I think Lotto after she released 777 or something like that, she went on tour and people were making fun of her because the venue she performed at was kind of small. And it's like that's what's supposed to happen is people are supposed to be having intimate shows and then building up into bigger shows and go from there. That's why there are like two types of people right now. There's people like Meg. Meg doesn't really sell a lot, but Meg will sell out a tour anywhere, anytime, no matter how big. People are coming to see Meg the Stallion because she's developed that, she's grown, she's learned, she's personable. Like people like her, people love her, people want to see her. Then there's Sexy Red. Sexy Red probably would if Sexy Red and Meg Stallion dropped on the same day,
Meg
like
will win.
Sexy might outsell her, but Sexy Red has had to cancel stadium tours because people are not trying to see that, and it's just not the same. It just is.
And
It's
this
not
is
the same thing.
and
And
I get what you're saying. And to add on to that, people need to understand that a lot of internet phenomenons don't translate to real life that well. Not to mention, people need to understand people rappers with an actual fan base versus catering to like a core market. Like this is what I put. This I'm gonna use that example, and this is not the shit on him. And I think I enjoy his music a lot. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Somebody, my friend Zach on Twitter said, Bossman D-Lo is bringing back the traditional power forward with his music, and I was like, that makes so much sense. But Bossman D-Lo is an example of somebody I feel like caters to a certain market of music. I don't think he has a super hardcore fan base. I think his music is good. I like his music and I like him, but I think he like a okay after so many songs. If the next gangster rapper comes along, what are you gonna do? You get what I'm saying? Because like it, and this is what people understand. Like the women in rap, as much as people clown them, they have fans. It may not be like the like insane like numbers, but like they have a core fan base that is going to show up for them more times than not. Like I think Lotto got fans. I
a lot of
think Meg got fans. I think Gorilla got fans. Like I think they got a lot more fans than some of these men out here. And I think they get clowned for the album sales, but when they turn around and they do a show, everybody like, where all these people come from? I'm like, y'all, the women been begging for for women centered rappers for years now. And once the pandemic kind of like, of course, we kind of still in it, but once the pandemic kind of died down, we kind of noticed, hey, these women kind of stand longer than people expect. And the whole thing is like what people been telling you, like the sales don't matter as much as y'all want them to matter. They don't matter as much as you want them to matter because that's not their artist bread and butter anymore. It used to be, but not anymore.
I also think it's funny how like, people always say the whole women hate women thing and whatever, they don't support each other. And like most of these women's tours are like, yeah, I'm gonna do my show and you gonna open up for me. And like next tour, like Meg had Glorilla on hers.
The
I think
Hot Girl Summer Tour was one of the biggest like shows in the what you call it.
like Anicia's and was just I'm pretty sure she's been on Kalani's tour. I think Caribou's on Lotto's. Like these, I think I forgot whose tour Flo Milli was on, but like she might have been on Meg's tour too. But it's like all of them are so connected, and it also that I think that also helps with their imagery. And so it's like the knocks that women have in society and in the rap game are just it's just not fair. And so like, I know we started this out talking about Doechii, but um I know eventually like she'll tour, whether it be after this or she drops her debut album, and like it may not be the most like packed out thing, but because of the music she makes, the how she presents herself and just like how good her music is, she is going to build and continue to build fans that are going to connect with her forever. Like there are artists who can tour the same songs for years and people will keep seeing it for the rest of their lives. And then there are people who have to keep making new things or else that shit is going to get stale.
And
Yeah.
that's the and to me like I think hold on. Cause hold on, that's one thing I want to say is like when I listen to music that connects, will like always like it always has lasting power. Like I don't care what anybody says, it always has lasting power. So like and for somebody like Doechii, like listen to songs or album like Nissan Altima, I'm thinking what I'm thinking of my favorites off this album I'm pulling up right
Nissan Altima, Bullfrog, Wait, Prophet, Beverly Hills. Like it's just so
now.
much.
Yes.
Denial is a river. Like it's just so much on here. And it again, it's like you listen to her and you get a better sense of her as a person. It's not even just like the music good. It's like everything connects with each other. And the more someone is able to connect with the artist, the more they're going to be a fan of them and for longer. And so that's why like Doechii cannot put out an album for like 2-3 years, but I bet you if she announced one, that shit's gonna be highly anticipated because at that point people feel like they know her and they connect with her. Like these people who make music that's just about like fucking bitches and getting money and all this stuff, like it be hot and it be good. And I ain't gonna act like I don't indulge, but it's like I don't know nothing about you. So like I might be a fan of this. I might be a fan of the music, but I don't know. I don't consider myself a fan of you.
because vulnerability pays in music, and I think it's hard to do. But in the same breath, like I respect artists that can do that. Like it, like I feel like Future is good at that to a degree, and I think it's helped people connect with his music. Same for Young Thug. Also, besides being stylistically very jarring compared to other people in that lane of music, I feel like Q was like that. Pretty much all TDE like that. I feel like Summer Dream feels like that. I feel like the Mavis, the Mikes, the Navy Blues, and everything that are like that. So it's like I even feel like Bodie James is like that to a degree. That nigga rap about drugs and all that shit, but it's like when you listen to Bodie James, you really feel like you doing that shit with him, or like you living that lifestyle with him, or like Vince Staples. I ain't gonna say I'm living that lifestyle with him, but like his level of vulnerability and transparency, it helps me connect with his music more. So like with Doechii with this project, she embraces that what I love about like a lot of Southern rappers and their level of transparency as well. So it reminded me a lot about that. And to top it all off, she's stylistically everywhere on this album in like a good way. Like she's singing some, she rapping some, all that shit. And the funny thing is, this nigga Jordan just tweeted this like 5 minutes ago. I'm literally looking at Twitter right now, and he tweeted you and I's exact thoughts. He was like, "The cool thing about Doechii album is that I went in knowing nothing about her and finished knowing more about her as an artist in person. You really don't get enough from artists anymore."
Yeah, that's that thing. Like it's like it makes you want to learn more about her and like connect with her in any way. And also like it just helps that she's really cool, she's really funny, she's really personable. Like that little shoot that she just did where she was dressed like a man in it, like that shit was funny. And so like she is she's important and she's going to continue to show her importance in the rap game and do what she got to do, but like I really think she I want to say she's a breath of fresh air in a sense, but not for like female rappers. Like I just think for like
Rap in general.
yeah, rap in general. Like she's just like this is we haven't gotten a I'm trying to think of the last mixtape that was this like had this effect, I want to say. Um and I think it also helps that I mean it helps that she's connected to TDE and niggas love TDE, but like you had so many people talk about this that didn't necessarily know her or care for her or whatever. And and now it's gotten like this critical acclaim and whatnot. And it's just now when she drops an album, it's really gonna set the stage.
I agree with that. That's kind of where I'm at with it too. But in short, that's all I got for this episode. We appreciate y'all for coming on. Any topics you want me to talk about, or me and Donna talk about, or me and Jay or Dre, everything like that, just let me know in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all be easy. We out.
Sure.